Namaskaraha. Welcome to this channel Sanskrit Today. Welcome you all for this introductory video. So I'll take a few minutes on this video to brief all the available options for you as a beginner to start with Sanskrit learning. So I want to keep this uh, video, or I want to keep this video's language as English, as you are all beginners to start learning Sanskrit. It would be easy for you if I brief them in English. Okay, with that, let me start on this content. So in this video, I'm primarily going to give some options for you as a beginner to start learning the Sanskrit language. And at present, I'm going to focus only on the courses from Sanskrit Bharati. Okay, so with that, when you say the Sanskrit Bharati, I think you might have already known about that. Like, it's one of the NGO which actually promotes Sanskrit all over the world with various kinds of activities, various kinds of courses. Okay, start. Let us start with all the available options from Sanskrit Bharati. So there are mainly there are three main streams, or there are three main courses from Sanskrit Bharati. One is the correspondence course, and second one is Gita course, and the third one is Bhasha course. Okay, out of which the correspondence course is more structured, and it has structured curriculum syllabus with proper exams held at the end of the terms, and it is basically based on a semester based examinations. That's the way it is on the correspondence course. And for Gita and Bhasha, it's for those who like to learn the language casually or informal way. For them, the Gita or Bhasha courses would actually fit well. And if you want to go in a very structured way, and you want to get the certification done, and you want to go for next level with some other graduation or degree, you can actually prefer to go for some correspondence course. Okay, let me just start with the correspondence course now, and we'll see the various features of that, and then we'll move on to the other courses. In the correspondence course, it has total four different stages. Uh, the first one is the Praveshaha, Parichayaha, Siksha, Kovidaha. So there are four stages or four different examinations we have. It all starts with Pravesha and it ends with Kovida. And each examination or each stage would need minimum of 6 months to complete. So total you would require 2 years to complete this entire correspondence course. In case if you would like to skip, or if you want more time to prepare at any level, you can actually skip one examination of that particular term, and you can continue, or you can appear for the examination in the next term. So I have seen people who are taking one course per year. That means they take 1 year study time to complete entire course, and they write examination at the end of that 1 year. And if you are really fast learner, you can also complete all four of them in 2 years. That is 6 months for each level. Right. And when it comes to the materials for these four levels, the materials are provided by Sanskrit Bharati itself. So mainly you'll be receiving one textbook for each level to your registered mail address. I mean, not mail address in the sense your physical mail address. You will receive this in your home. Each one book you would receive one textbook for each level at your home after you register with Sanskrit Bharati for that particular level. And that book generally contains that means you'll have four books for four levels, and each book would actually contain 10 lessons. And of course there are various things are discussed in each of those lessons. We will see that in little later, but so you'll be having one textbook for each level, and each textbook generally contains 10 chapters. And generally the 11th and 12th chapter is generally the 11th chapter is a kind of a recap or some important things to remember or memorize, that will be kept as 11th chapter, and 12th chapter is for generally the model question paper for that level. So that's the way the course textbook is structured. And next, when it comes to the examinations, you will be having examinations based on the region you appear for. But generally in India, it is seen as uh, generally the term examinations will be at the end of the term, that is January, February, or August, or July or August. Okay, that's the way it is held. And you will be generally get 6 months before that to prepare for that examination. Okay, and that's the examination. And you can always reach out to your local regional Sanskrit Bharati centers to know about the examination details, data examinations details, and other contact class details from your local Sanskrit Bharati. And we also have other online uh, lectures and videos for those correspondence courses as well. Okay, that's about that. And registration wise, you can always register for any level in the Sanskrit Bharati's official website. You can register, and after registration and after the payment of 300 rupees, so generally the 300 rupees is a charge taken for each level. That would include the textbook plus examination fees plus certification, all three included in that 300 rupees. So generally you might need to spend 1200 rupees to complete this entire course. In case if you are skipping some examinations and taking the examinations in the next term, in that case you need to spend 100 rupees extra for the examination fees. Okay, once the registration is done at the official Samskrita Bharati website, or with the volunteers of your regional volunteers, if you're done with the registration, you would be receiving the textbook within a month or two based on the logistics available. Okay, you will be receiving the book in the post, and near the examination you would also receive a hall ticket for appearing into the exam, for appearing for the examination. And that hall ticket generally will have the examination center. Generally it is near to your home address, right? Whatever the address you have given for while registering, so they will prefer any nearest examination center for you to appear. And once that examination is done, that is on January, February, or July and August, then the results would be announced in 1 or 2 months. That's the way overall it goes. And total 4 levels we have, that we have seen it already. And generally after finishing that 4 levels, okay, maybe before that let me touch upon each level in little more details. The Pravesha is the first beginners level. Generally you'll be having introduction to the Devanagari script, and maybe you'll have some introduction to the language as well. And along with that, multiple stories and examples for each of the concepts explained. And it also covers all the basic tenses and vocabulary, and basic structure of the Sanskrit sentence, how to frame basic sentences. All these are actually covered in Pravesha level. And it will also cover all the three tenses, like present tense, past tense, and future tense. And it will also cover how to order a request. And it will also give you the vocabulary list for different scenarios. Maybe on a library you will see multiple items, it will give vocabulary for each of those items. And similarly for a home, you will have multiple various items at home, so you'll have vocabulary list for all of them. So basically category wise you'll have vocabulary list. And you'll have along with that, in all 4 levels you'll have some subhashitams and stories in Sanskrit, along with the English translation or whatever the language you prefer to choose. So when I say language, now I remember these four levels. You can register with any of your language. Maybe you can actually learn the Sanskrit language through 11 other languages. You can choose um, Kannada or Hindi or Tamil or Telugu or Marathi or any language which you can choose. So basically, they will have Sanskrit, and the concepts are explained in that particular language which you register with, right? And when you register, please choose the right language you would like to study this course with, right? That's the overall introduction, and you by default all the four levels will have really very cool great subhashitams and stories and the history of the Sanskrit and overall history of the older our olden culture and the rishis, and everything is covered in each of those four levels. So that's pretty much about the Pravesha. It covers all the basic details. And the Parichaya, so that's where it goes little bit next level, where you will be mm, you will be introduced to the concept of Sandhi, and that means Sandhi means joining two words, maybe. So there, when you join two words, there'll be some transformation happens between the words, right? So all those transformation, how to join two words, especially here they explain more about the vowel uh, conjunction, that is how vowels are changed when they join together. In the later levels, the other consonants, sandhi, are actually explained. Okay, so let's stop there. Well, let's not go into the details there. So basically, it covers the sandhi, and it also talks about the passive voice, how to build a sentence with the passive voice. Of course, because in Pravesha we already covered with the active voice, in the Parichaya we'll learn about the passive voice, and of course with other history of Vangmaya and Itihasa histories are also given in the Parichaya, along with Subhashitams and stories. And the third level is the Shiksha. So there it goes little advanced, where uh, it will actually cover all the various grammatical suffixes, like krit pratyas, that's what we call it as. So basically, they are the suffix we use along with the root words to generate new words. Basically, you might have already heard about the Sanskrit. It has the capability to generate or make new words out of existing words, or make new words, right? So for making a new words or new words from the existing words, you might need to use appropriate suffixes. So the Siksha generally covers up that part as well. So there, uh, it is not all the suffixes are covered, but all the mostly whatever is needed for spoken Sanskrit, it's covered in Siksha. So all the suffixes are most used suffixes are covered in Siksha level, and along with that, some advanced grammar concepts are also covered in Siksha, and plus the remaining part of Sandhi, because Parichaya level you'll be having only vowel Sandhi, but in Siksha level you'll also learn other Sandhi types like consonant Sandhi, that is Vyanjana Sandhi or Visarga Sandhi. So these two types of Sandhi is also taught in Siksha level. And here in this level you'll also learn about framing some advanced sentences at Siksha level. And finally, the Kovida. In the Kovida level, the important concept of Samskrita grammar is the Samasa, where you frame a new, or you generate a new word out of existing two words. Maybe Devalaya. Devalaya is a temple. Deva plus Alaya. So we actually join both of them and we create a new word called Devalaya. So this is actually called Samasa. So we learn the various types of Samasa in Kovida, and how to interpret the Samasa meanings, and all of them will be learning in the Kovida. Plus Alankara Shastra, it will touch upon little bit of Alankara Shastra, and it will also touch upon Chandas, and of course along with this few more advanced Vyakarana concepts are also covered in Kovida level. So that's all about this all four, but it doesn't mean that we entire Sanskrit is covered in four levels, but it's definitely it's a very good start. It gives all the important pieces which you need to know for speaking or for having a Sanskrit conversation with anybody, right? So from then as this actually these four levels, they act as a foundation for you to build your Sanskrit knowledge further. Actually, if you want to study further on any granthas, or if you want to go in a research way, definitely these four levels would definitely will be a foundation for you. Okay, that's the correspondence course, about the correspondence course. And after completing this course, what to do next, right? So there are universities in India, they actually accept this correspondence course 4 levels as a undergraduation, and they actually you can continue or enroll for the post graduation degree based on this correspondence course. Okay, and there are again certain universities, they actually have kind of entrance examination based on your existing current knowledge of Sanskrit. Definitely, of course, this foundation 4 levels would help there to clear that examination, and you can actually get enrolled for that post graduation degree, right? So that's the way you can actually start further from correspondence course. Okay, so let's continue start with the next course called the Gita course. Okay, so there are again 4 levels in the Gita course: Gita Sopanam 1 and 2, and Gita Pravesha 1 and 2. Okay, and as it is, and few regions they actually conduct examinations even for these courses, but a few regions they do not have, or they're still developing the facilities to conduct the courses. Okay, and this when I say the Gita course, the objective for this course is to uh, learn or study the entire Bhagavad Gita on your own with the knowledge you gained from the Gita course. Okay, so that means you might have read Bhagavad Gita from various portals or blogs, or maybe from videos from YouTube. There they might recite the Bhagavad Gita shloka, they might comment, or they might give translation on the on their own language. Maybe it may be English, or it may be Hindi or Kannada or Telugu or Tamil, right? So you might listen the meaning on a different language. That means you'll just listen what is said and you'll understand that. But objective of this Gita course is uh, it will cover all the basic things needed for you to understand the Gita shlokas. So it covers all the basic things like sentence formations and the tense, voice, active voice, passive voice, and vocabularies, and sandhi, samasa, and all grammatical concepts which you need to know for reading any shloka, right? So it is covered in this Gita course. So the objective finally is to read all 700 Gita and Bhagavad Gita shlokas on your own with your own interpretation. So that's the objective for this Gita course. So with that aim, they have structured this course in 4 levels: Gita Sopanam 1 and 2, and Gita Pravesha 1 and 2. Okay, and out of which the fourth level, the Gita Pravesha level 2, which has just only the Gita shlokas. It comes with 2 parts actually. The fourth level generally comes with 2 booklets, where the first 3 levels they have only 1 book. Okay, the fourth level is one. It has 2 books, and it doesn't have any Sanskrit concepts. It doesn't explain about anything about Vyakarana or anything. It just has it just has 700 Bhagavad Gita shlokas with the proper pada vibhaga, or sandhi, splitting the sandhi and giving the meaning for each word and such things. So basically analyzing the Gita shlokas at the fourth level. Okay, but till 3 levels, Gita Sopanam 1 and 2, and Gita Pravesha 1 and 1. So these 3 levels, only these 3 levels, they actually talk about the language, they talk about the grammatical concepts, and basically they also explain you with some sample shlokas. They will explain you how to interpret the meanings, or how to demark the meanings out of that. All of that actually explained only 3 levels. Okay, and the fourth level is just only reading the shlokas based on the knowledge you gained in first previous three levels. That's about it. Okay, and as these are not very well determined in terms of completion duration. It generally goes starts from 6 months to 1 year to complete each level. Because definitely compared to the correspondence course, the Gita course has more dense information and more the concept wise and the depth they actually go in terms of the concepts. They are really very high. Okay, so it would need some time for you to digest the concept. So generally, though they claim that it is 6 months, it generally goes beyond that. So 9 months to 12 months, or 9 months to 1 year is a typical duration generally needed for completing that one level successfully. Okay, but in case if you want to go in a fast pace, you can even finish in 6 months. That's up to you. But generally, that's what that is one thing. And second thing is that content wise, the overall Gita Sopanam 1, 2, and Pravesha 1, and correspondence course Pravesha, Parichaya, Siksha, and Kovida. So these two are the same, almost the same. Okay, if you are able to finish Kovida level, you are almost done half of the Gita Pravesha level 1. And you just need to catch up on certain topics in the middle of Gita Pravesha 1 and Gita Sopanam 2, and you are ready to go for Gita Pravesha 2. So that's what it means. Okay, and similarly, if you are actually going through Gita Sopanam 1, 2, and Gita Pravesha 1, that means you are almost done with the correspondence course Pravesha, Parichaya, Siksha, and Kovida. But except few other extra things on the Kovida side to learn, like Alankara and Chandas, they are actually something extra covered on correspondence side. Okay, but if you finish these 3 levels on Gita or 4 levels on correspondence course, you will be completing almost, you will be there is a 90% of overlap in the syllabus. Okay, 10% exclusively for Gita, again 10% for correspondence course. That's the way. And after that, you can actually start with Gita Pravesha 2, and that would actually that's actually, and I say the till 3 levels, it's like a theory subject, and the fourth level is a kind of a practical where you read the complete Bhagavad Gita Grantha on your own using the knowledge you gained in the earlier stages. Okay, that's about the Gita course, and of course the Gita course is structured in a way that uh, so you can actually use this knowledge to um, speak with your peers. Basically, uh, you can actually frame simple sentences, and you can actually speak with your fellow students to improve the knowledge. Basically, it's like it emphasizes more on spoken part of the Sanskrit. Okay, that's about the Gita course, and next the last one is Bhasha course. So this has 2 levels in the Bhasha course. One is the Bhasha Pravesha level 1 and Bhasha Pravesha level 2. Okay, but it is again structured for people who just casually want to learn the language, but definitely not for learning or reading Gita or any other granthas, but just I want to improve the, or I wanted to improve the knowledge on Sanskrit. I want to know the all basics of Sanskrit, and I want to use the Sanskrit for my regular vyavahara, that means for a regular conversation. So for those, the Bhasha Pravesha is the right option. Again, this is not actually a again, it's similar to Gita, where it happens in an informal way, with the um, informal way where you may not have examinations in all the regions actually. And when it comes to the content wise, the Bhasha Pravesha 1 and 2 are exactly identical to Gita Sopanam level 1 and 2. Okay, there is no difference in terms of the syllabus or the concepts. Okay, where it differs is in Bhasha Pravesha, you will be seeing all the examples of the real life, like all examples of the conversational Sanskrit, and whereas in Gita Sopanam or Gita Pravesha, you will be seeing all the examples and applications in terms of Gita. Like you might see the example, like in Gita Sopanam, Arjuna said, the same sentence in the Bhasha course, Bhasha Pravesha, you might see the example like Ganesha said or Rama said. Okay, and here it may be a Krishna said or it may be Dhritarashtra Uvacha, Sanjaya Uvacha, all based on the Gita characters, and whereas in Bhasha course it's all general. You'll see examples of all general stories, general sentences, everything. But otherwise, the concepts are exactly the same, not even nothing different there. Okay, I think that's the overall three levels you have, and in short, the correspondences course is for who want to go in academic way, in a structured way. If you want to learn the language and appear for exams and get the certification, correspondence course is the right option. And the Gita course is for those who like to read the Gita on your own. Then Gita course is the option to go. But it is not just for Gita. You can even use that knowledge to read other granthas as well, like Ramayanam or Mahabharatam or any other grantha. And definitely Gita course as Vyakarna, dense of Vyakarna is more compared to other two levels. The Gita course has more Vyakarna in it, meaning the grammar, more grammatical concepts are explained in Gita course. And Bhasha course is first two levels are actually identical to Gita's first two levels. Okay, otherwise it's all the concepts are exactly same except the examples or the stories they illustrate to explain the concepts. Okay, that's about these three levels. If you're confused on which one to take up, my suggestion is to go for all three in parallel. Okay, that means you can actually start with the register for the Pravesha, get the book, and in parallel with the Pravesha preparation, you just start with Gita Sopanam level 1 and as well as Bhasha Pravesha level 1 as well. Okay, but don't think that we are actually squeezing 6 almost 1.5 year syllabus into 6 months, but instead we are trying to it's all, you can see almost 80 to 70 to 80 or 90% overlap, but except few things are maybe extra here and there. Almost it's all the same level. And similarly Parichaya, Gita Sopanam 2 and Bhasha Pravesha 2, and similarly Siksha and Kovida with Gita Pravesha 1, you can take it in parallel. Okay, and Gita Pravesha level 2, it's up to you whether you want to take it parallel with Kovida, or maybe after finishing Kovida you can also start with Gita Pravesha level 2. So overall what I'm trying to say is you can take all these three in parallel, so you'll get benefits of all three courses. Okay, but all you need to do is you need to spend extra 50% of time. Maybe if you are spending maybe 20 minutes every day as recommended by Samskrita Bharati for correspondence course, or you might be spending maybe 40 minutes or 30 minutes or 40 minutes to include all three of the streams. Okay, so that's about that. And there is one more thing. So for example, if you want to start with any of these three courses, it would be good if you already familiar with the spoken Sanskrit. So there are courses again conducted by Samskrita Bharati called Shibirams, so like a Samskrita Sambhashana Shibiram they called us. So those Shibirams are designed to train you to speak in Sanskrit within 10 days, or maybe within a short span of time, like in a month. Okay, it depends on the region they actually structure, but the 10 days is the standard duration of the course. It goes for 10 days and each day 2 hours. And that course is mainly focused on spoken Sanskrit for beginners. Okay, and I would recommend, if you get a chance to attend any such course nearby your locality or online anywhere, please enroll to that, and that would definitely help in learning any of these three courses further. And even even the Sanskrit today in our YouTube channel, we have Sanskrit beginners course that covers all the Sambhashana Shibiram syllabus. So that will make you familiar with the spoken Sanskrit part, and from there it will be easy for you to understand and digest the concepts of further grammar, further grammatical concepts from correspondence course or Gita course or Bhasha course. That's all about I want to share in this video. Of course, the video went a little longer than I thought of, but it's good to have the complete clear idea. Okay, so now you can let me know in the comment section, like if I have missed some things, you can always feel free to post them in the comment section. At the same time, if you have already taken any of the courses, or if you which course you are planning to take to learn Sanskrit, you can also post in the comment section. And if you have any other queries or clarifications regarding these courses, you can always post in the comment section. Okay, and similarly, there are again courses conducted online from Sanskrit today for each of these levels. The links for all the completed course or maybe upcoming courses, the links are given in the description section of this video. At present, actually, at the time of taking this video, we have already have online materials for Pravesha and the correspondence course, and Gita Sopanam level 1, level 2, and Gita Pravesha level 1. We have online materials. And similarly for Bhasha course, we are almost about to start the Bhasha Pravesha level 1 now. Okay, for remaining things, we can expect sooner on the Sanskrit Today page. Okay, that's about that, and you feel free to have your comments on the comment section, and share this video with your friends and interested people so they can also start the Sanskrit journey, and subscribe to this channel Sanskrit.today to watch more videos like this, and I will also post more similar content on this channel. And like this video, and thanks for watching this video online. Dhanyavadaha.